In this section, we're going to look at marketing strategy. So we'll be discussing marketing objectives, niche and mass marketing, the product life cycle, and portfolio analysis and adding value. Firstly, let's look at the difference between objectives, strategies, and tactics. First, objectives. Objectives are what you want to achieve and should be specific, measurable, and within a time frame. For example, to increase sales by 10% in 3 years. Next, strategies. These are ways in which a firm can achieve its objectives. For example, targeting a new market segment. Lastly, tactics. These help achieve the strategy. For example, creating a new advert aimed at the new market segment. Objectives are always very clear. Note how our example stated exactly what was to be achieved. Increase sales by 10% in 3 years. The objectives will give a firm a sense of direction and the ability to decide clearly if the objective was achieved or not. In 3 years' time, there's either been a 10% increase in sales or not. To achieve this objective, a firm may decide on a course of action. This is a strategy. For example, to increase sales by 10%, the strategy may be to target a new market segment. Johnson's did this by targeting women who could use their baby lotion as a moisturiser. And finally, tactics. Tactics help the strategy. So to target women, you may need an advert on TV at about 8 p.m. after Coronation Street. Be really careful in the exam that you don't get objectives and strategies mixed up. Objectives are what you want to achieve, and strategies are how you will achieve them. Niche marketing focuses on a specific segment of the market. For example, a magazine for art collectors, whereas mass marketing focuses on the majority of consumers. For example, Coca-Cola. Like with many business topics, there are pros and cons of each of these. It really depends on the business as to which type of marketing is chosen. Niche markets may have fewer competitors, but may also have fewer customers. And if the niche market is proving to be lucrative, then more competitors will try and enter the market. Niche markets might also mean that it's easier to apply the marketing mix, because your promotion and distribution can be targeted on a smaller group of people. But lots of firms opt for mass marketing because it means a much bigger market to sell to. And large-scale operations may lead to economies of scale and lower unit costs, meaning that prices can be lowered and sales increased. There's no right or wrong option for a business. Again, it depends on what they want to achieve, their finances, and the type of product. Let's have a look at an exam question. But let me give you a scenario so you can use it to show application. Surf Inc. has been set up by 2 friends who met at college. They designed some of their own surf clothes and wore them whilst away surfing at the weekend. Lots of people asked about where they got their clothes from, which led to the friends deciding to set up in business. So, here's the question. So how did you get on? Let's go through some of the points you could have considered. The trigger word here is discuss. So you know it's an evaluation question, which means you also have to show knowledge, application and analysis skills. Is the surfwear market popular? Yes, it is. So there may be high demand for their product in a mass market. This could lead to high sales with the right marketing mix and potentially lead to profit. By linking your idea to what the market's actually like will get you good application marks. Saying that a consequence of high demand is higher sales and perhaps profit will get you analysis marks. You might also want to point out that the surfwear market is dominated by some big names. For example, Quiksilver and O'Neill. And going head to head with these in a mass market might provoke a negative reaction from them. They have the ability to cut prices, whilst a new business is less likely to be able to do so. In a niche market, there's less chance of going head to head, and surfing could have time to establish customer loyalty. These points show application, because you're talking about actual competitors, and analysis because you're saying what the consequence of their actions would be. For application points, you might also want to point out that Surf Inc. may have limited finances, and a mass market strategy will be expensive. There's no right or wrong answer. You just need to present the information to the examiner and then decide which option, given your analysis, you recommend and say why. Now we've looked at the markets a firm may opt for, let's have a look at the firm's actual products. There are two marketing tools used to do this: the product life cycle and the Boston Matrix. You might find them referred to as product portfolio analysis in the exam. The product life cycle only looks at one product, so let's start with that. All products have a life cycle, and by that I mean that they are introduced onto the market, but at some point may disappear from the market. How long they are around is their life, and firms want their products to have long and profitable lives. Here's a diagram of a product life cycle. As we can see, sales and revenue run up the side, and time runs along the bottom. There are 4 sections because all products are introduced, then grow, then mature, and finally decline. Some products are introduced and then grow very quickly. They have a brief maturity and then decline rapidly. For example, fashion and toys. Other products have very long periods of maturity. For example, Coca-Cola and Kellogg's cornflakes, which have been around for years, but are still in maturity. The length of a product's life cycle depends on the type of product, levels of competition, marketing support for the product, and customer tastes. It's important to recognise that during development, the product will be costing the firm a lot of money in terms of design, production, and advance promotion. But the product won't be bringing in any money because it's not yet for sale. This can cause cash flow problems because the business finds that more money is going out than is coming in. Established firms will use finance from other products to support a new one, but new firms might not have this ability. You need to consider what each stage may mean to the business. We've looked at development, so introduction is next. At introduction, the product is new to the market, so sales may start off slowly, and heavy promotion may be needed to create awareness. to encourage sales and to develop an image. But bear in mind that promotion can be expensive, and this is a time when a lot of money has been spent on the product and cash flow may be a problem. This is a problem that many firms face because they won't have unlimited finance to support the product. But if they don't promote it well enough, they won't gain enough revenue to cover their costs. During introduction, there's also likely to be an underutilisation of capacity, as there isn't the demand to be producing to full capacity. After the introduction stage, the product will move into growth as more people become aware of the product, as advertising will still be heavy. Sales will be rising and profit may be made if enough revenue is made to cover the costs. As sales increase, the firm will produce more items and will be making better use of its capacity. This means the firm will be operating more efficiently, which could bring unit cost down, as costs are spread over more units. Firms can't be complacent though, because if the market is proving lucrative, new competitors may try and enter the market and pose a threat to the company's sales. Gradually, sales will stabilise and remain constant. This is the maturity stage. But this doesn't mean the firm can relax its marketing activity. Promotion will still be needed to remind people of why the product is so good. Just look at how much promotion is still done for brands such as Nike, Audi and Coca-Cola. Cash flow will be positive and profits will be made. Often money from mature products is used to support products in development or newly introduced products. The final stage is decline, where sales start to fall. At this point, the firm can either withdraw the product, wait until other competitors have withdrawn their products and take their sales, or use extension strategies to revitalise the product and increase sales. Why don't you have a go at coming up with some extension strategies for Kellogg's cornflakes? Make a list of possible strategies on one side and then analyse each one on the other side. So, how did you get on? Were you able to come up with quite a few? You probably had these on your list. The firm could lower its prices, but whether this works depends on what competitors do and whether sales increase enough. If they don't, profit could be affected. There's also the risk that competitors could retaliate and lower their prices. If this is the case, the extension strategy won't work. Lowering the price could have an impact on the image of the product. We tend to link price and quality. So, if the price goes down, people may think the quality has gone down too. Alternatively, sales promotions are often used as extension strategies. Competitions or buy one get one free offers can stimulate sales. But bear in mind that at the end of the promotion, customers may swap back to their old brands. Trying to get your customers to buy your product more often is a good way of increasing sales. Kellogg's actually tried this strategy a few years ago with some success. Even now, Kellogg's are trying to get us to replace our unhealthy snacks with one of their low-calorie bars. Of course, this will mean our diet is more balanced, but will also mean more sales for their bars. The last one here is to target a new market segment. If the product could be used by other people, for example, baby lotion being used as a moisturiser, then sales could increase. If faced with a question on extension strategies in the exam, it's important to suggest strategies that are realistic for the company in your case study. So, we've looked at application and analysis here. But If an exam question were to ask you to evaluate possible extension strategies, you'd have to weigh up which of the 4 ideas was the most suitable and say why. One issue which may be useful for evaluation of the product life cycle in general is that of determinism. This is the idea that it may be difficult to know exactly what stage a product is at. For example, the marketer notices falling sales. He may well think that the product is in decline and withdraw funding from it. His actions will definitely lead the product into decline, even if it wasn't really heading for decline in the first place. The same is true if an increase in sales is noticed. The marketer may think the product is heading towards growth, and therefore increase promotion. The effect will be an increase in sales. So, determinism is an issue that businesses need to be aware of when using the product life cycle. Okay, so we've looked at a tool to analyse the performance of one product. Now let's look at the Boston Matrix, which allows firms to analyse their range of products. The matrix analyses products in terms of their market share and the market growth rate. Right, to get an idea of what the Boston Matrix is, let's go over to our business of the day, Charlie's Christmas Crackers.
Oh, where'd I put that phone? Yes, Janice. Who? The marketing oh, can't you deal with it? Yes, okay. What was the name of our marketing person anyway? Yvonne, right. Yes, well, put her through. Hello, Yvonne, yes. Is our marketing plan ready now? Right, well, you shoot ahead and I'll come back with anything I don't understand I can get back to you on. Yeah. Hold on a moment, please, Yvonne.
Oh, Dad, I got a driving lesson. It's 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I know, but just sit down.
It's at 3 o'clock. You promised, Dad.
I'm just taking this call.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, sorry, Yvonne. Yes. Just, yes, fire away. You want to know about what? My cash cow? And you want details about my dog? Look, Yvonne, you seem to be mixing me up with someone else here. I'm not a farmer, you know. I deal in Christmas novelty goods. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad I make you laugh, Yvonne. I'm glad I'm so amusing. Yeah. Oh, well, yes, naturally, I knew that you were seeking information about the Boston Matrix analysis, yes. Yes, of course, we all know about the Boston Matrix analysis, yes. Well, look, I'll tell you what, Yvonne. I'll get on to my accountant and get back to you in a couple of days. Yes. Yes, it's nice speaking to you as well, Yvonne. Yes. I don't understand one word that woman said. I don't suppose you've covered any of this in your business studies, have you?
Yep, sure did.
Well, come on then, out with it. Otherwise your driving lesson's up the spout.
Okay. It's simple, really. Bit like you. It's just a way of assessing your products in your business. Yeah? It analyses what you sell in terms of the market growth rate and the market sales. Look, Dad, I'll show you. Get me some paper. Right. We'll start by drawing you a diagram, okay? Right. Box. Divide it into 4 sections, okay? That's the start of your dog box.
Dog box?
The products that fall into this box, all right, all have a low market share in a market that isn't growing very quickly. Right, for example, right, your Father Christmas gnomes, now they're not much of a seller, are they? They're not what you call great. So perhaps you need to drop them off the line because they're not selling very well, and let's face it, they're costing you money. And they're filling up warehouse space. So they would be your dog.
Right, I understand that.
Right, next, we have the question mark box, okay? Now this is sometimes called the problem child box, okay? So products in this box, right, have a low market share, but are in a market that's growing. For example, low-calorie chocolate, yeah? That's growing. That's a market that's growing. A firm may be able to take advantages of a growing market to get more sales. You see, in time with the right support, a question mark can become a star, okay? That's another box. So here, what about your solar-powered night Santas, yeah? Because environmental products are getting more popular, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I knew there'd be a good idea.
In the star box here, try and concentrate. I know it's difficult when you get to your age. Now in the star box, the products have high market share, okay, in a market which is growing. Now these products are successful and could bring in a lot of revenue, but often companies have to spend a lot on marketing to get these products to this position. Now the final box to look at is for the cash cows.
Oh, like this.
Grow up. Now, although the market has a slow growth rate, this type of product has a large proportion of the market share. With me? Now, these are well established, mature products which probably cost the firm less to maintain, but bring in a lot of revenue and profit. Now, the money provided by cash cows can be used to support other products in the portfolio. My teacher says that some cash cows can be milked. I suppose this is what they mean.
Well, this is my cash cow.
Mental.
Cash cow indeed. Silly moo. Anyway, don't fall into the trap of just giving a theoretical response. To get more marks, you need to apply your knowledge to the case study. In other words, if given a range of products, try and place them in the matrix categories, or use examples of products from similar markets. Anything to show the examiner that you understand the material and can use it in a meaningful way. Remember that the Boston Matrix is only a marketing tool. It can't guarantee a firm's success simply by using it. It's how firms use the information from their analysis that's important. For example, a balanced portfolio is preferable so that firms have cash from cash cows to support newer products to replace dogs and stars, to become future cash cows. A firm may well decide that they do not have enough stars, but creating stars may be costly and difficult for a firm to achieve. A firm may also find that a number of its products become dogs around the same time. Should it try to boost these products, drop them and support question marks, or focus on the stars? These choices need to be made, but depend on the firm's objectives, finance available, and the state of the market. Okay, finally under marketing strategy, we're going to look at adding value. This is a way of increasing the appeal of a product or service so that customers are prepared to pay more for it. Let's look at some ways of adding value.
Well, firstly, thank you all for coming to this marketing meeting. We're going to be talking about unique selling points, image creation, through design and through service. Okay, there's coffee and biscuits that Janice has brought in for us. Thank you, Janice. So please feel free to help yourselves. Now, we'll begin with unique selling points. Now, I know most of you are probably aware of this, but there's no harm in going over it again. Unique selling points. Now, this is a feature of a product or a service that no others offer. The problem is that unique selling points are soon copied, and firms have to try and find new unique selling points to set themselves apart from the competition. For example, online supermarket shopping a few years ago. What was once offered by only one supermarket is now offered by most of the main supermarkets. Right, now image creation. Now, firms may use promotion to create a strong image for a product. The image will attract more customers and will enable the business to charge higher prices, which customers will be prepared to pay. Right, well, I'm going to help myself to some coffee now, so please feel free to join me. Now, this therefore means demand will be more price inelastic. Examples of products with strong image include Gillette via the use of David Beckham, Tim, yeah, and L'Oreal products via the use of famous female actresses. Now, role models are often used so that we subconsciously buy products to become more like these people. Right, next thing we're going to look at is through design. Buy. Sell, sell, sell. Buy. Buy. Now, some products set themselves apart from their competitors and therefore add value by using innovative design. Now, Apple is a good example of this with their desktop and laptop computers. Bang and Olufsen TV and stereo equipment also stand out for this reason. Through service then. Now, as firms try to keep up with one another, it becomes increasingly difficult to differentiate themselves. Businesses offer very similar products and services and therefore increasingly look to the level of service offered. This may be anything from being greeted at the door of a supermarket, to having a no-quibble return policy, to even having an online purchases delivered by the next day. Excuse me. Hello? Hi, Rach. No, I love you. No, I love you more. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. We'll do it together. 1, 2, 3. Bye. Sorry. Now, a firm that can offer excellent service may be able to charge higher prices.
I'm sorry, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Huh?
Do you mind getting up from my seat for a start? Sitting there talking to yourself? Honestly, you're only meant to be on work experience. Go and ask Janice and see if she's got any filing she wants doing.
Janice?
Yeah, we'll have some more coffee sent through, please, when you're ready. Now anyway, I'm glad you all turned up for this marketing team because I've got rather a lot of things to say. Would anybody like a cup of coffee before we start?
Well, I've got to say, I'm really glad I don't work there. Anyway, so adding value can really benefit a firm in terms of increased sales, price inelasticity, and greater customer loyalty. But remember that adding value will cost the firm money, so they must be sure that they will earn more in sales than it costs them to add value. An exam question on adding value may ask you to discuss ways in which a particular business could add value. Here are some points you'd need to consider in the answer. A definition will get you some content marks. Type of business. You'll need to come up with ideas which are relevant to the business in question to get application marks. Analysis. You'll have to analyse your suggestions. For example, if a company A does this, it may mean that X, Y or Z happens. Okay, so that's the end of marketing strategy. It's over to you now.